The Lord answers Job. Then out of storm the Lord spoke to Job. The Lord, who are you to question my wisdom? God talked to Job. With your ignorance, empty words, now stand up straight and answer the question I ask you. Were you there when I made the world? If you know so much, tell me about it. Who decided light would be? Who stretched the measuring line of it? Do you know all the answer? What hold up the pillars that support the earth? Who laid the cornerstone of the wall? In the dawn that day the stars sang together, and the heavenly beings shouted for joy. Who closed the gates to hold back the sea when it burst from the womb of the earth? It was I who covered the sea with clouds and weapon the darkness. I marked a boundary for the sea and kept it behind the bolted gates. I taught it, so far no farther. Here your powerful waves must stop. Job, have you ever in all your life commanded the day to dawn? Have you ordered the dawn to side the earth and shock the wicked from their hidden places? Daylight makes the hills and valleys stand out like folds of garments, clear as an imprint of single clay. The light of day is too bright for the wicked, and restrains them from deeds of violence. Have you been to the springs in the depths of the sea? Have you walked on the floor of the ocean? Has anyone ever shown you the gates that guides the dark world of the dead? Have you any idea how big the world is? Answer me if you know. Do you know where the lights come from, or what the source of darkness is? Can you show them how far to go, or send them back again? I am sure you can, because you are so old and you were there when the world was made. Have you ever visited the storerooms where I kept the snow and the hail? I kept them ready for times of trouble, for days of battle and war. Have you been to the place where the sun comes up, all the breeze from which the east winds blows? Who dug a channel for pouring rain and created the way for the thunderstorms? Who makes rain fall where no one lives? Who waters the dry and thirsty land so that the grass spring up? Does either the rain or the dew have a father, who is the mother of ice and the frost, which turn the waters to stone and fry the face of the sea? Can you tie the pillars together, or loosen the bonds that hold all Israel? Can you guide the stars season by season and direct the great and little bar? There, do you know the laws that govern the skies, and can you make them apply to the earth? Can you shout orders to the clouds and make them drench you with rain? And if you command the lightning to flash, will it come to you and say, at your service? Who tells the abyss when the Nile will float? Or who tells the cock that the rain will fall? who is wise enough to counter the clouds and tilt them over to pour out the rain that hideth the dust into lamps? Do you find food for ants to eat and satisfy hungry young lions when they hide in the caves, or lie in wait in their dens? Who is that feeds the lovers when they wander about hungry, when the young cry to me for food? Do you know when mountain goats are born? Have you watched the weedy give birth? Do you know how long they carry their young? Do you know the time for the birth? Do you know when they will crouch down and bring their young into the world? In the weed their young grow strong. They go away and don't come back. Who give the weed donkey their freedom? Who turns them rules and let them roam? I gave them the desert to be their home, and let them live on the salt plant. They keep far away from the northern seas, and no one can make them walk. The mountains are the pastures where they feed, where they search for anything green to eat. Will a wild ox work for you? Is he willing to spend the night in your stable? Can you hold one with a rope and make him plow, or make him pull a hole in your fields? Can you rely on his great strength and expect him to do your heavy work? Do you expect him to bring in your harvest and gather the grain from your recent press? How faster the wings of ostrich beat, but no ostrich can fly like a stork. The ostrich leaves her eggs on the ground for the heat in the soil to warm them. She is unaware that a foot may crush them or wind may break them. She acts as if the eggs were not hers and unconcerned that her efforts were wasted. It was I who made her foolish and did not give her wisdom. But when she began to learn, she came laugh at and horse and rider. Was it you, Job, who made horses so strong and give them their flowing manners? Did you make them leap like locusts and frighten people with their stoning? They agrapple the ground in the valley. They lash into battle with all their strength. They do not know the meaning of fear, and no sword can turn them back. The weapon which their riders carry rattle and flash in the sun. Trembling with excitement, the horses rush ahead. When the trumpet blows, they can't stand still. At each blast of the trumpet, the snort, they can smell a battle before they near, and they hear the officers shouting commands. Does a hawk learn from you how to fly when it spreads its wings toward the clouds? Does an eagle wait for your command to build its nest higher in the mountains? It makes its home on the highest rocks and makes the sharp peaks in the fortress. From there it watches near and far for something to kill and eat. Around dead bones the eagles gather, and the young eagles drink the blood. Job, you challenge Almighty God. Will you give up now, or will you answer? I spoke foolishly, Lord. What can I answer? I will not try to say anything else. I have already said more than I should. Then out of the storm the Lord spoke to us again. The Lord, stand up straight now and answer my question. Are you trying to prove that I am injustice to put me in the wrong, yourself in the right? Are you as strong as I am? Can your voice sound as loud as mine? If so, stand up in your heart and plead. Clothe yourself with majesty and glory. Look at those who are proud. Pour out your anger and humble them. Yes, look at them and bring them down. Cast the wicked where they stand. Bar them on the ground. Bind them on the wall of the dead. Then I will be the first to prove you and admit that you won the victory yourself. Look at the monster. Behemoth, I created him and I created you. He eats grass like a cow. But what strength there is in his body and what power there is in muscles. His toes stand up like a cattle, and the muscles in his legs are strong. His bones are strong as bronze, and his legs are like iron bars. The most amazing of all creatures, only his creator can defeat him. Grass to feed him grows on the hills where wild beasts play. He lies down under the thorny bushes and hides among the reeds in the swamp. The thorny bushes and the wolves by the stream give him shelter in the shade. He is not afraid of flashing river. He is calm when the Jordan dashes in his face. Who can blind his eyes and capture him, or who can catch his knot in a trap? Can you catch the ravenous with this fish hook, or tie his tongue down with a rope? Can you put a rope through his snout, or put a hook through his jaws? Will he beg you to let them go? Will you plead with you for mercy? Will he make an agreement with you and promise to serve you forever? Will you tie him up like a pet bed, like something to amaze your servant woman? Hey, will the fisherman bargain over him? Will make and cut up to say, can you feel his hide with fishing spears, or pierce his head with harpoon? Touch him once, you will never try it again. You will never forget the fight. Anyone who says Leviathan loses courage and falls to the ground when he is alone with his face. No one would dare to stand before him who can attack and still be safe. No one in all ways can do it. Let me tell you about Leviathan and describe how great strong he is. No one can tear off his outer coat or pieces of armor with wears. Who can make him open his jaws, ranged with those trifling teeth? His back is made of rows of sheets, fastened together and hard as a stone. Each one is joined so tight to the next, not even a breeze can come between. They all are fastened to film together that nothing can ever pull them apart. Light flashes when he descends, and his eyes glow like the rising sun. Flames breeze from his mouth, and streams of sparks are out. Smoke comes pouring out of his nose like smoke from wheat burning on the pot. His braces start flaring, burning. Flames leap out of his mouth. His neck is powerful that all who met him are terrified. There is not a weak spot in his skin. It is hard and unerring as iron. His stone heart is without fear, and yearning and hard as a milestone. When he lights up, even the strongest are frightened, and they are helpless with fear. There is no sword can wound him, no spear or arrow or lance can harm him. For him iron is a frame that is sure, and bone and soft rotten wood. There is no arrow that can make him learn, rocks thrown at him like a bird's straw. To him a club is a piece of straw, and he laughs when men throw spears. The skull of his bell are jagged, and the pieces of pottery they tie up mud ground like a threshing sledge. He turns up the sea
like boiling water and makes it bubble like a pot of oil. He leaves shining past behind him and turns the sea to white foam. There is nothing on earth to compare with him.
Oh God. He is a creature that has no fear. He looks down on even the proudest animals. He is the king of all wild beasts. Then Job answered the Lord. Job, I know, Lord, that you are all powerful, that you can do everything you want. You ask how I dare question your wisdom when I'm so very ignorant. I talked about the things I did not understand, about marvels too great for me now. Oh no. You told me to listen while you spoke and to try to answer your questions. In the past I knew only what others had told me, but now I have seen with my own eyes. So I am ashamed of all I have said, and I repent in the dust and ashes. After the Lord had finished speaking to Job, he said to Eliphaz, I am angry with you and you two friends, because you did not speak the truth about me, and as my servant Job did. Now take 7 bulls and 7 lambs to Job and offer them as a sacrifice for yourselves. Job will pray for you, and I will answer his prayers, not to disgrace you as you was deceived. You did not speak the truth about me, and he did. Eliphaz and Bildad and his sovereign did what the Lord had taught them to do, and the Lord answered to Job's prayers. Then, after Job had prayed for his 3 friends, the Lord made him prosperous again, and gave him twice as much as he had done. All Job's brothers and sisters and former friends came to visit him, and they feasted with him in his house. They experienced their comfort him for all the troubles the Lord has brought in him. Each of them gave him some money and gold links. The Lord blessed the last part of Job's life even more than he did bless the first. Job owned 4,000 sheep, 6,000 camels, 200 cattle, and 100 donkeys. He was the father of 7 sons and 3 daughters. He called the eldest daughter Jemah, and the second Kedar, and the youngest Kerenapot. There were no other women in the whole world as beautiful as Job's daughter. Their father gave a share of the inheritance along with their brothers. Job lived 140 years after this, long enough to see his grandchildren and great-grandchildren, and then he died at a very great age. That is the wonders of God did to Job.